Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger, and Scarcasm Live is back.
Nice. Scarcasm Live, aka Scarcasm pre-recorded.
Yes. I've been wanting to get rid of the live part, but at the time when I set everything up, someone already had the Scarcasm name, because apparently Scarcasm is a common misspelling for sarcasm.
Yeah. Every time I search Scarcasm, it'll be like, don't you mean sarcasm? I'm like, no, I don't mean sarcasm. Right. If I meant sarcasm, I would have typed sarcasm, because I can spell sarcasm.
Right. So, yeah. And then, of course, the original intent for the show was to be live on TalkShoe. So that's the reason why the name is what it is. And then TalkShoe didn't work very well. And I didn't change the thing because I'd already had everything at that point.
And once a month or something, when I get a computer, maybe we could do, like a every now and again live show, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Rashani has a thing for his show that I partially pay for. We can probably just use that. It's a thing that's set up for that. It's a website set up for that. I can't remember the name of the website right this second. Why is my settings are just all kinds of jacked up on this thing, which is weird because every single time I go to edit a show, it's always just absolutely fucking crazy. And I can't change my volume, which sucks. Hold on.
Well, do you do a lot of editing wizardry because I just listened to the last 2 episodes just because I was just curious on how stupid I sounded, because I did drink a little bit more than normal, but everything sounded fine.
Well, I mean, no matter what, I always put the show through a levelator. The levelator is designed to take out some of the background noise, and is also designed to try to even out the voices. Because when I listen to the raw file, and this is way too inside for the actual show, but you know what? Fuck it. When I edit the show, I'm always really low. Like, if you look at the wavelength, I can always tell when I'm doing all of the talking. Mm-hmm. Because for some reason, when it's recorded, my volume is always crazy low. But it's fine in Skype, so you hear me just fine. But the recording, it always records me low, which is stupid.
Right. Yeah, I was wondering about how you did that, because you always talk about how it's always low and stuff, but then when I listen to it back, which I don't always listen to the shows, but normally if it's something like last week, I will be curious on how it sounded or whatnot. Yeah. And one thing I noticed is, wow, it's not like I'm censoring myself normally, but I have a really dirty mouth when I'm a little tipsy.
I have a dirty mouth in general, so I guess it's not that bad. Like, everyone who listens to Facetious, when they listen to this show, they're like, wow. But, like, I don't really enjoy censoring myself for Facetious. Let's be honest. I don't like it, but I do it because it's Blue's show. I know Blue don't cuss very much. And it's, we've gotten complaints in the past about my cussing, which, like that guy who just commented that he listens around his kids, and I dropped too many F-bombs for him to listen around his kids. Well, who the fuck listens to all of these podcasts that people cuss around your damn kids? And I don't want to, like, I was like this close. I was this close, like real close. Like, I'm holding my fingers barely apart. I was this close from just typing "fuck your kids." but I do it for the culture. See, here's the thing that always weirds me out. Okay, the people who do all of the complaining about my cussing, it's always white men just. But then again, like, so I look at it from that perspective, but then I also look at it from the fact that, like, the show has gotten several awards on EDG for our content and all of this other stuff. So it can't be that bad, right?
Right.
I mean, the EDG guys love us, and we love them.
Right. Because, I mean, you wouldn't think they would be that... Well, I'm talking about EDG aren't that sensitive in the fact that there's been people that have, are associated with EDG and stuff that I went to play with them, and they have just as bad as potty mouth as I do.
Right.
And, I'm like, wow, I thought I was having a sense of myself, because... but
yeah,
I didn't want to drop names.
Shout out to the homie Mr. Matt, yo.
Yeah, actually, I've been trying to drop down names of who would be really cool guests on the show and stuff, and the ones that really come up to me is that we haven't had on already is Matt and Meef, because for one, I've never podcasted with Matt. I played games with Matt, and I've never talked to Meef in person at all outside of Twitch. So that would be cool for those two.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I've done shows with Meef, and then Meef he asked me to what was it Gamers Unscripted. Meef actually suggested a couple of times that I fill in for shows that he couldn't be on. So he he asked me to fill in for those shows that he couldn't be on, and that's how I ended up on Gamers Unscripted a couple of times. I really wish that show was still around. I really like that show.
It technically is. Right, it technically is. They did a show last year to keep the thing going, but they haven't done the show in a while.
Right.
That and there's another show that hasn't done it in a while, to where they're at the bottom of my feed. I'm just right over, hovering over to unsubscribe because it's been a year. There's another show called Press A to Listen. They haven't released a show in a year.
Yeah, I have a lot of shows that haven't released a show in a while that I'm still subscribed to. Mm-hmm. I have one show that I was listening to, and he switched over to SoundCloud. So the show is still available. It's on SoundCloud. He does it every once in a while, but I haven't been able to listen since he's been on SoundCloud because I don't really want SoundCloud on my phone that much.
Well, what catcher do you use?
I use Pocket Casts. I paid for it. I paid for the paid version. It was $7 or $8 or something like that, a good little while ago. And that was back when I was doing the Google rewards all the time. So I had the money that I didn't have to use my money. So I bought that on Google rewards a long time ago. So I've been using Pocket Cast ever since. I know there's some podcasters that have problems with Pocket Cast. So if there's something that I really want to listen to, I'll just pull up the website on my phone and just play it from there. But I love Pocket Casts. But here's the thing that I found out, because they changed the they're doing some changes to the reporting and the reports and stuff on Libsyn.
Mm-hmm.
And they and one of the things where they were that I don't know if it was always there, but they added where most people listen from.
Yeah.
Do you know that most people listen to our show on Stitcher? I didn't know people still. I didn't know people still use Stitcher, but apparently most of the people who listen to our show listen on Stitcher.
Well, it's probably because it's kind of like a non-iTunes because it has its own when your show gets ported over to Stitcher, it's kind of like getting ported over to iTunes. It gets its own URL over there. Mm-hmm. You don't have to use the RSS feed and all that kind of stuff, which that's what I was getting at, is because I use Podcast Addict and
Podcast Addict.
Podcast Addicted. That's where I'm getting that from.
I can't really use that again. I already used that as a show title.
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie Mike J. Shout out to the homie Mike J. who mentioned the hilariousness of you mispronouncing things.
Nice. Yeah, the reason I was actually consciously trying to like not say it the wrong way, which the reason I said it the wrong way before is because I was a little drunk, and that time I said it the wrong way because I was literally like self-consciously trying not to, which made me say it the wrong way.
Yeah,
But,
Mike J says Chase's mastery in quotation marks of the English language never fails to amuse.
nice. But anyway, I was able to pour because the gamer husband, not gamer vessels or whatnot, they use SoundCloud, and I'm able to listen to that through my podcatcher from SoundCloud. So I had to do something to make it work right, but it works fine now. So I don't know if there's a little step you have to do to get SoundCloud over to Pocket Cast. I'm just sitting there like, man, this is the most entertaining podcast ever.
You're trying so hard. Like, you're trying way too hard. Like, if you need to, you can pause. Just pause and don't say anything because I edit out the silence. I removed the silence. So if you pause for a certain amount of time, the pause will be shortened. That's why if I'm having a hard time saying stuff, I will actually just stop, figure it out, and then I will say it. So
yeah, but what really got me smiling is the fact that I'm sitting here just like talking about RSS feeds and Pocket Casts and all this stuff on the freaking podcast. I'm like, people are going to be like, man, this is the most boring podcast ever. The podcast.
I mean, it's only been a few minutes. Like, we didn't even get to the good stuff yet. Before we get into the stuff that we're consuming, have you had anything going on with life stuff?
With life stuff?
I haven't.
I got back in the freaking regular work schedule, which is great. Freaking a snow week after a snow week has been kind of crappy because most of my PTO is used up and the last paycheck was a little bit lower than normal. So I'm like, freaking snow.
Right. Yeah. I hear you trying to censor yourself. It's like freaking snow. Like, no, fuck that snow.
Well, sometimes I do. That wasn't a conscious thing. Sometimes I do, use the PG words, but maybe it's because I haven't been drinking tonight. But one time I was listening to, I was like, damn it, Chase, because I think we were talking about like how people were more open with their speech in the 90s, and I said like Jesus effing Christ, we would be crucified, and like those words together. I was like, really, Chase? You put those words together? I was just like rolling my eyes at myself, but I was like, okay.
Yeah, I heard you say it, but I was like, I'm not about to say a word. I'm just going to keep this going. Yeah, so the only thing that I've really had life stuff going on. I started making Rimworld videos.
Yeah, I actually put, because I made a while back, I made a Scarcasm like playlist, for our game nights and stuff. So, and that included anything that you do or whatnot. So your videos are like on my page, like in the front thing, because I finally put that playlist on my front page because I actually found out I can actually go into my YouTube settings on my PlayStation, through the web browser. So I did that and finally rearranged my playlist because it was like Destiny videos and stuff, and I haven't done one of those in a while. So
okay.
So yeah,
I had my last week. I got a call saying that my ex-wife and my daughter were going to start doing live streams, and then I was saying that I didn't get a chance to finish. We didn't really get a chance to finish playing Banished because Banished started crashing a lot on the alpha. So and then I was told that my daughter was watching my videos, and I was like, well, shit, I should probably make some more videos. So I recorded at least 4 videos. I uploaded them all, but I've been kind of like changing it from unlisted to public every once in a while. Trying to do like one a day or something like that. So I have 4 of them out there. The first one is like almost an hour, because I was not paying attention to the time. But the rest of them I'm trying to keep them close to 30 minutes. But I'm not always succeeding there. So there's that. But yeah, I want to start recording some videos, and at some point I'm going to try a live stream. I just got my internet today. So I'm going to be trying, at some point I'll try a live stream. I don't really feel live streams, but I'm going to try it at some point.
Yeah. I did a really piss poor live stream yesterday morning. What is it? Gamer Goalie was playing some Diablo 3. And I was like, shit, yeah, let me get on some Diablo 3. But I had Riley with me, and I was feeding him. So I got in the party, and I was like, yeah, they were like, oh, you got this? And I was like, yeah, but I'll jump in a little bit. I'm feeding the baby right now. And, they can hear while he's sucking on the bottle, he was making kind of a little noise. So they heard that, and they were like, oh, how old is he and stuff. So they talked about the baby for a little bit. And he pretty much went to sleep. So I laid him down in his crib, and I was like, all right, Diablo time. And then as soon as I sit down, he woke back up. So I had started streaming, so I just was like mute and like just standing there for most of the stream. Oh. So yeah, that was so I kept it up. I just called it barely playing Diablo 3 because you can hear them, and those guys are pretty funny dudes and stuff. So I was like, might as well just keep it up.
Okay. Well, yeah, but you said it was Holy Goalie. You mean Gamehound's Holy Goalie?
Yeah.
Okay. I used to listen to Gamehounds a lot.
Nice. I told him, I was like, kind of like right before he got off, I was like, because I'm trying to get as much, because I think that's a really good way to get people talking about the show. And I mean, it's worked with other things, is when people are guests on your show, that gives them more of a motivation to talk about the show, you know what I mean? And then when we're a guest on their show, that gives us a motivation to talk about their show, so that cross-pollination kind of, it helps because... I don't guest as often as I used to. I wouldn't mind it. It's just people stopped asking. Yeah, because that's how I actually found out about your show, is that you were a guest on EDG. Yeah, so... it's kind of crazy, but I think I'm going to try to get into putting some videos up. I would rather record the videos than do the live streams. But then, if I'm playing a multiplayer game, now that I have better internet, I actually, like, right before the show, I was late because I had just turned my Xbox on for the first time since I've moved. So like before the first of the year is the first time I turned my Xbox on at all. Oh, nice. So it's been a while since I turned my Xbox on. Absolutely, but you should be getting another one soon, right? Maybe. Well, what would you say if I bought another PlayStation instead of an Xbox? I would say that you're a smart man and you just don't you're sick of having to share your PlayStation. Well, we do want a second PlayStation, mainly not as much for the sharing as because right now she is using the Vita and playing Persona, and I'm playing on the PlayStation. Actually, it's on right now, but paused. Yeah, because you were playing Hellblade, right? Yeah. Cause I was on my PlayStation for a little bit watching YouTube, but I usually appear offline, so you never know when I'm on. Yeah, but yeah, it'd be cool to like play like Destiny together, because I mean we can play Diablo together, and then that's the only game we play together because she absolutely hates split screen. Because I'm like, hey, let's play some Borderlands, and she's like, let's not, because she hates playing Borderlands split screen. But I have Borderlands on like so many. I have Borderlands 2 on so many platforms except PlayStation 4. I believe I have Borderlands on 5 different platforms. Borderlands 2, I think I have it on 5 different platforms. Yeah, I have it on all the main ones: Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. I have it on 360, Xbox One,
PC, PlayStation 3, and a long time ago on PlayStation Plus they gave away the Vita version that I never played.
Right.
So I literally have it on 5 platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So now you understand my hesitance, because we talked about possibly playing on we talked about possibly playing on PlayStation. I'm like, well, I already own it 5 times.
Was it like cross play? Because on the Xbox One, I have the 360 version that is backwards compatible. Like,
Yes.
Can you play the Handsome Jack with the 360 backwards compatible version?
No, but you can play. You can have both installed.
Right. But I'm just saying that that's the version I have, which is playable on the Xbox One, but I just couldn't play with which is weird. Why would they backwards compat that game when the Handsome Jack version exists? Because I'm like,
no. And then when they did it, like, if you can transfer your characters to the Handsome Jack collection, but it's
that's
weird.
probably what I would do, because I do have a high level. If it's still on the cloud, a high. On Borderlands 1, my soldier was it was like cheat worthy how freaking OP that dude was. But on Borderlands 2, I did have a pretty high 0. I mean, it.
No, I'm all about the turrets, dog. Like, first time I rolled with Roland, and then the second time I rolled with Axton, because I'm all about them turrets, dog. Especially Axton's turrets are greatness, especially if you unlock like the rockets, mm-hmm. or like where you can go different ways, but one of them you could throw 2 turrets. The other one, when you throw the turret down, it explodes like a mini nuke. Yeah,
I've heard it's pretty awesome. The reason I went with 0 is because I played with so many hours in Borderlands 1 as the soldier. I was like, let me change it up a bit. And, this 0 is kind of there wasn't a character really like 0 in the first game other than maybe Mordecai, which 0 is still not very like Mordecai, right, other than the sniping. So I was like, I want to try out this dude. And I ended up really liking it, especially when you get him leveled up. He's one of the more underrated characters, I believe, because a lot of people, man, 0 sucks. And I was like, you haven't played with him long.
I like the all of the dudes with the turrets, and then I like old girl. I can't think of her name right now. The woman that has the robot.
Oh, the Mechromancer.
Yes,
I can't remember her name.
Is it Paige? Is it Paige or something like that? Gage. Is Gage?
Gage.
It's Gage. I think it's Gage. See, I like those partly because if you get downed, your thing doesn't go away. And if it kills something while you're shooting at something, you get back up. So like the robot will stick around. And if the robot kills something, then I can get back up.
Yeah, I did play with her a little bit because, I bought the DLC that had her in it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to play with it since I bought it. And yeah, she pretty much is Borderlands 2 easy mode. I mean, it's that robot like wrecks stuff up.
Once that robot is leveled up, she makes everything super easy. And if you do that thing where you get those stacks, mm-hmm. Where it goes, it's like if you keep shooting and you don't press the reload button, and she just reloads when she runs out, then those things stack. Then mm-hmm. it gets more. The bullets get more powerful, but she gets less accurate. But like if you let that thing stack and it just keeps stacking, like you can one shot so many things. But the moment you press that reload button, it's a wrap. You got to start all over.
Yeah, 0's leveled thing, like the bloodshed one is the melee one, and that's like you go invisible, right? So normally, if you when you first get it, you go invisible, you kill an enemy, and then you're back. You know what I mean? But it recharges pretty quick though. But when you get the bloodshed up, you go invisible, you kill him in an enemy with melee while you're invisible, it resets. It resets every time you kill an enemy, and so you just like stay invisible, just like going around freaking killing enemies, and it's crazy. And then the sniper one, the highest, I can't remember what, I think it's just called sniper, but it has one to where critical hits get higher damage, and every time you get a critical hit, and if you're doing like a boss or something that has like a really big like weak spot, it stacks up to 999 times. So every time you hit that weak spot, it just gets higher damage and higher damage and higher damage for 999 times. So there was one of those, I can't remember what it was called, like this big hulking, I think it might have been a DLC boss, but it was one of those really big hulking dudes, and I just basically killed him in like 10 shots because it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger stacked on the sniper, and I was like, wow, that was easy.
Word up. I really want to play Borderlands now. But what sucks, because I think I got to start over on PC. I don't think I have enough. I don't think my character's uploaded. I don't think I had cloud saves on, so I think I got to start all over on PC, which sucks. Starting over really sucks.
Yeah. Well, if it's on Steam, then it should have cloud saves, right?
At the time, it didn't have. All of the games didn't have cloud saves. I know most of them do now, and you could just opt in. But yeah.
Well, we'll see, because that'll probably be the best bet if I get a PC. Well, I'm pretty much hoping to get a new PC that I know for a fact we both got it there, and it would look the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all cell shaded, so it doesn't matter that much.
Right, but Borderlands 2 looks pretty freaking good. Like, you're like, wow, Borderlands 2 is actually really pretty.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Word up. All right, so what do you want to talk about first?
I haven't watched too much.
Well, we can go there. I watched a little bit.
Okay.
I'm halfway through. I watched the first 3 episodes of Black Mirror. Mm-hmm. I was waiting until I got my Xbox back up with the internet and stuff before I started watching Black Lightning, which, no relation. And starting to catch up with my DC TV shows because they're all coming back on. So I'm going to try to get into that over the next couple of days. Even though I'm going to have a pretty busy weekend, so I don't know if I'm going to be caught up by Monday, but I'm going to try. I'm going to give it a go. And then I did with my girl. I actually went back and watched the first episode of Black Mirror. And it is still just as fucked up, if not even more than, it's one of those things, right? Mm-hmm. Where you're watching something that you already watched and something fucked up is getting ready to happen, but the person you're watching with don't know that the fucked up thing is really going to happen. So it's it was really more or less me watching her response to everything. Right.
Yeah, I get that way too. Like, especially if it's something kind of suspenseful, even though I've seen the movie, I was like, why am I still falling into the suspense? Like, I know what's going to happen. Well, like, if it's a movie that does it really well, like, even though you know what's going to happen, you still like, maybe they won't get out this time. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's like, it's weird to where how it still hooks you, even though you know it's going to happen.
Yeah. And let me tell you, the 3rd episode of season 4 of Black Mirror is so fucked up. Like, it is so fucked up. Like, and then like how it all ends is like, damn. And then, but it doesn't end. It ends right before where you think it should end, but it's one of those things where you know what's gonna happen, but then the episode ends. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like
I was just giving my dog water. If you heard water, it wasn't me peeing.
Okay, I don't know. I wasn't listening. I couldn't hear it. And see, now you just told on yourself.
I didn't tell him nothing. I was just saying that it was my I'll give my dog water if you.
Sure?
I told myself. I give my dog water.
You sure? You sure about that? But yeah, but that episode is fucked up. I'm looking forward to getting back into it. I watched a lot of stuff on YouTube. One of the things that I'm watching is someone did kind of a retrospective on the Resistance series.
I actually always wanted to play those games. I got the first one on the PS3 and started playing it, and then since it I didn't play it when it first came out. It was kind of dated, but they always seemed like such a weird and cool concept. You know what I mean? And it's weird that exclusive never really. It got 3 games, but it's not like on like Resistance 7. But PlayStation doesn't really do that. That they'll maybe release 3 or 4 games, and then they'll like go on with another. They never rarely go, into the 8s and 9s and stuff like that.
Well, that's kind of like it's kind of the thing where there's a lot of games series that when you get to like 4. They'll just subtitle it instead of calling it 4. Like that all changed with like Gears of War 4 and stuff like that, and Call of Duty 4 really changed it a lot. But then Call of Duty started changing until all of these different things.
The Call of Duty thing when they did Modern and stuff because that was actually really a jab against Activision. Is at first it wasn't called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It was just called Modern Warfare 2. My case just said Modern Warfare 2. But then later, they added the Call of Duty back.
Well, the whole series was a shot at Medal of Honor because some of the guys who had worked on Medal of Honor previously started Infinity Ward.
Huh.
So the whole series is a shot at Medal of Honor. I will say this. The Medal of Honor Modern Warfare type games, I don't think they're that bad. Well, the multiplayer, I didn't play much multiplayer, but the single player of those games, I didn't hate them at all. Actually, I quite liked them, especially the second one.
I haven't played the Warfighter one. I played the first one. Was it 2010, 9 or 8? I don't remember. But the multiplayer of that game was pretty good. Like I heard that Warfighter's multiplayer wasn't that good, but the first reboot multiplayer was good. It was kind of like this nice mesh between like a Battlefield type gameplay and Call of Duty, to where it was smaller maps, but you had a little bit more. It was a little bit more tactical than your Call of Duty, and it felt really good. Like I don't know, I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed both of them. I will say though, the cutscenes, especially, I can't remember which one it was. It might be the second one where one of the guys they kept showing his wife and kid. They were not done very well. The wife and kid were not designed very well. Their design was kind of like I don't know how quite to say it. Like the design of the wife and kid were not very good.
Yeah,
but other than that, man, I really did enjoy those games, and I always try to suggest that people, if you care about single player of games, I always suggest people try that. Like there is literally in the second game, there is a car stealth mission and apparently the guys at Criterion, designed the car. There's car chase sequences. Like they break up the action, and you have like way more things that you can do than just go to this area and shoot everybody that moves. You pretty much work as a team, and there's a lot of team chatter, so you get to know their personalities a little bit better, and it's really stinking cool. I enjoyed those games a lot, and I think more people should play those.
Yeah, I thought that the characters in the first game had character. Like, wasn't it like one was named Church and like and stuff like that. So
one of the guys is named Mother.
Yeah.
I always wonder if they call him Mother because it's short for motherfucker, or was like, you know what, another series that I dislike Battlefield. Like I dislike Battlefield in general. I'm just not a fan. Right. But I think I said fan, and then there was kind of like a D on the end of fanned. Like, but I don't know what happened there. That was just kind of a mouth thing. Like, I'm not a fan. Like, I don't know what happened there. But I very much enjoyed the Bad Company games, except for the first one. Except for the first one because the controls are terrible.
Well, the first one, the controls, like the actual shooting controls, I didn't mind. It's just it was they tried to make it sandboxy, and there was one part I remember I was completely out of ammo, and I couldn't find any ammo. They were like, shoot that guy. I was like, you shoot that guy. I don't have any bullets. You know? And I was like, you guys have guns? So yeah, I never actually finished the first one because I was like, just like, screw that part. But the second one, they toned it down a little bit with the sandbox, and the characters were still there, and it was hilarious, their banter and all that. And I think Battlefield Bad Company 2 is the best Battlefield game, which that is kind of a popular opinion.
It is the only tolerable Battlefield game for me. And it's the only one of them that I actually played a decent, not a lot, but I played a decent amount of multiplayer back when it was the hotness. I played a decent amount of multiplayer.
I loved the Vietnam pack that they had on there. That was the shit. Like all the music was like Vietnam era, like Motown sounding music and stuff, and it was just the feel of it.
Did they have a version of White Rabbit?
No, all of it was original stuff, but they made it sound like it was from the area. You know what I mean? So they didn't have to get copyright stuff, except for that they did have "Fortunate Son." That's the only one that they brought over that was a copyright song.
Shout out to BioShock Infinite, because old girl just singing "Fortunate Son" a cappella was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed. That's another game that I need to play again. I need to play BioShock Infinite again.
Yeah, I do too, because I had got the BioShock collection on the PS4, and I played through the first two, and then when it come around to Infinite, I just played 2 BioShock games back to back. I was like, oh, I kind of want to play something else. So yeah, I need to go back and actually.
2 is the only one that I don't think I've ever really played 2. Because everyone was talking about how bad 2 was, but the DLC Minerva's Den was supposed to be really good.
Yeah. 2 is not a bad game. Its story is not as good as the first one, to where it's pretty run-of-the-mill. You know, it's like the main bad guy, well, bad woman is pretty much a female Andrew Ryan, and you know, now you have the big sisters instead of the big daddies, and it was kind of
and then it's like something shitty where like the big sister shows up at like the end of every area. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck? Like, why do you have to show up at the end of every area? Like, get the fuck out of here.
But the gameplay wise, other than Infinite, it's more tighter version of the first one, to where the controls are a lot better. Like the camera stuff is a lot more like everything is refined in BioShock 2 from the first one. It's just the story in the first one is just greatness.
Until the last part.
Well, I still like to watch.
Well, no, the story was cool throughout, but that last boss battle sucked.
It wasn't that bad.
It sucked. It sucked.
Yeah, I got you.
No, I did that. That was my metal. That was my metal voice. It sucked. That's my metal voice.
Yeah, that's why I started going jun.
You know what? That is the title of the episode. My metal voice. See, it's not you messed up this time.
Nice.
Because you're not drinking.
Yeah. But I can go into something. You want to go in what you played? You want me to talk about what I played?
I've only really played RimWorld. Because like me playing games has been kind of like it's been hard, because you know I started going back to the gym a little bit, and like there's a lot of stuff going on and applying for jobs and all of this shit, and I just haven't had a lot of time to really play a whole lot of games. And usually when I get to play RimWorld, it's like late at night. Everything for the day is pretty much done, and I'm playing till like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, we did play a little bit of Killing Floor again, which
Yes,
was
we totally did. We play. Killing Floor is just such a great game. You got to get the PC version when you get a PC. But Killing Floor is just super fucking fun. Like, and I don't, I don't want to keep saying the same thing because we say the same thing every week, every time
right.
one of us plays it. But it's just super fucking fun, man.
Right? Yeah, I think so too.
But I need to get back in, so I need to get that level 15.
Yeah, you were so close last time.
Super close.
I have no idea how I got to level 15 before you did, but because you normally get more kills than I do.
Yeah, but then again, I normally get more kills because I switched to the fire weapon. So technically, I'm leveling up my firebug and not leveling up my SWAT.
Oh yeah, you do use a lot of non-perk weapons. Yes. I forgot about that.
And I think my next playthrough, I am going straight firebug. But see, here's the cool thing about being is because I use those weapons very often. I don't even use a firebug. I've only used SWAT, but my firebug is already an 8.
Nice.
so I'm good. Like, so at least I get to at least sign one of those skills.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a way to kind of cheat the system. You'd be like, I want to level up Firebug, but I don't want things to grab me, so I'm going to use a flamethrower with a SWAT class.
Yeah. Now, mostly I use Spitfire and I use the incendiary trench gun because that shotgun is amazing and it's a lifesaver, except for when you have to reload because shotguns always take forever to reload. I need more games to put the cool shotguns, the modern shotguns with the clips in them.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you're not having to go clip, 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 clip.
Right. Because that's a total pain in the ass.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that's all I've played in the past week. I've only really played that. I do once I start getting into recording more games. I'm probably gonna get back into some other stuff like Banished and Prison Architect. I want to get this RimWorld thing started first before I really start doing stuff. And then I want to try out streaming because streaming is probably going to be a lot easier for me because I don't have to make the videos. The video is made. Right. And then then I went online and I started making like the little title card things with the little thumbnails for YouTube. Uh-huh. Do you know how I ended up? I tried all kinds of stuff. I downloaded GIMP and all of these other things and trying to get this shit right. And I'm like, I don't know how to use any of this shit. You want to know how I ended up making that?
Paint?
Nope. I used Google. I used Google Drive.
Oh yeah.
I used the drawing thing in Google Drive, and then I figured out how to take screenshots in Steam. So I because the screenshots in Steam is kind of weird because you got to press one button to take the UI away, and then you press the other button to take the screenshot. It's a little weird, but I got it. So yeah, I just did that, and it's actually pretty cool.
I didn't know if you would try to make clickbaity title cards like have the yellow like YouTuber font like going across there like Scar plays RimWorld and have like a picture of you going
No, it's because I was just learning how to do it. It's real basic right now. It's super basic right now. Like the more I have time to like really play with it and try to do, like I might try to switch it up when I play different games and such. But for right now, it's working for what I needed. For what I needed for is working.
Yeah, I would make them, and I haven't made them in a while because without a computer, it's kind of hard to make one.
Right.
And I can make them on my phone. It's just I can't add it to my YouTube without a computer because the phone app doesn't really translate too well to actual YouTube creators, which you would think it would. You know, have like a YouTube.
Did you get the what you call it?
Well, there's a YouTube Studio app too, but I don't think it's pretty basic. It's mostly like checking your stats and things like that.
Yeah, and I mean I have it. The only thing, the stats are the best part about YouTube Studio, which is crazy because here's the thing. I check my stats every once in a while, but every time I look at my stats, I'm always astounded that like no one is watching my video game videos. Everyone is watching my marching band videos. And like I have like thousands of views, but it's all like my marching band stuff.
Right.
and like some of this stuff is like super old.
Yeah.
Like I haven't really been to something really in like almost 2 years now. But like, one of those videos and the most popular video that I have, I just recorded that video on a whim. Like I was leaving I went to a game and I recorded the bands, and while I was leaving, I was walking past one of the bands as they were getting ready to leave. So I pulled out my phone and I recorded them, getting together, starting up, and leaving. That is my most popular video. Like it's crazy how many views that thing has. Like, hold on, let me see if I can pull it up, because it is. Every time I look, it's like, really, why does this one video, and not even the videos of like people like the songs and stuff,
because my highest videos are like I have some concert videos that I recorded there was a Christian music festival called Cornerstone back in the day, and they did one in North Carolina for like 2 years, but they did it in like Illinois since like
what?
the 90s or something.
I don't think there's an S on that. I don't think you pronounced the S.
Okay, Illinois. I was, because it's a concert, I have to make it sound like hip. Illinois, like, you know what I mean? So but anyway, I posted those up because there were some hardcore bands, and they're like really crappy, like, like high 8 VHS videos, and they're in the like 500s or something, which is a lot higher than my freaking gaming videos.
I would tell you, this video that I just described, you want to know how many times this thing has been viewed?
How many times?
15,257 times.
Huh.
And literally, it's only like I was leaving. I happened to be walking past them as they were getting ready to leave. So I pulled out my phone and I recorded it. That's it. There's nothing else. Like, there's nothing else special about this one fucking video. Out of all of the videos I recorded, like every time if I post a gaming videos, I might get like, at most a handful of views. Most of them have like 2 and 3 views and shit like that. Some of them get up there a little bit. It even went to the point where I was, like I said, my daughter is like super into like YouTubers and stuff like that. Like, she really cares about this shit. So I was, so she was talking about like, the channel that she has with her family. They don't have a whole lot of subscribers and they don't get a whole lot of views. And then so she was looking at my gaming videos and she was like, "You don't get very many views either." I was like, "Yeah, because you're looking at the wrong thing." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, look at the marching band videos." And she went, "Oh." like, "Oh, okay, I get it. Never mind. You're right." So then she wanted me to subscribe to theirs so that I could give them more views.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that happened. So,
yeah.
What else you got? Like, I don't think I've done very much other than go to the gym and hurt myself, basically. I don't think I've done very much else.
Yeah, I finished Gravity Rush, and I really thoroughly enjoyed that game, except for this one part. Man, that part was bullshit. And it won't even, like, I guess a slight spoiler, but like it's not really actually, if you're going to play this game, you need to know the spoiler. Well, there's a part where your cat basically eats something bad, I guess, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, LOL, your cat's sick now. Your powers don't work right." So you have to do this whole like part to where you've leveled up all your powers. Now it's like, "Oh, your cat ate something." So sucks for you. That was bullshit, dude. I like when you like gravity shift, there's a gauge, right? So you're like you change your gravity so you're like flying through the air, and then the gravity meter is going down. So you can like level that up to where it lasts longer. Where in that part it was like it just drained. So you were like platforming through the area rather than, just flying everywhere. And the boss part, I was like trying to kill it or whatnot, and then about the time like one of the other like ads would like hit me, and then I would go falling, and then like I would be off it. I was like crap, and then I'd be like dying, and I'm trying to get to the health, and then my thing it was just that's the only part I was just like actually like cussing the screen. And then once that part was over, I was like, and they got back to normal. I was like, all right, well it's cool now, I was like, what the fuck was pointing that other than like just for the lulls?
Right.
You know what I mean? But so yeah, other than that, is a really cool game with really cool mechanics. Just going around flying everywhere, and the world is so weird, dude. Like at first, I thought it might have been kind of a BioShock Infinite type deal, to where it's like, or Best in Cloud City, to where you're above in the clouds or whatnot. But then there was this part to where you kind of fall down, and then there's like this funnel thing underneath the city, and you go in there, and then it's like you're inside a bone marrow, and it's like, oh, your powers don't work in here, so you're just like kind of falling and stuff, and then you would come out, and then your powers worked again, and then you would go back in, and it looked like there was like spine, like a giant spine, and you're just like falling down underneath the world. And I was like, so this isn't over a planet. This is like the whole universe, like outside of like their area. That's just like nothing. Like their whole world is inside of that city. That's it. And then underneath is all this weird shit. And then when, well, I can't really go into the other stuff is really weird, but that's more of a spoiler. I don't really want to spoil, but yeah, it's definitely weird. It has a lot of time dimensional type stuff going on, and when I finished it, I thought it was going to answer a lot of that kind of stuff, but it didn't really, and I was like kind of disappointed about that. But then when I really thought about it, it really did end in a way to where you defeated the main antagonist, and everything was pretty much better and whatnot. But all the like big questions weren't really answered about the world, which is kind of a good thing in a way, because then the kind of like weird feeling it gives you of that this is a world that you've never seen before ever, to where, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of like, I have no idea what's out there. Kind of like if you knew everything about this universe, that kind of mystery of what's past the solar system, or like what's in other galaxies or whatnot, would be completely answered, and then all the mystery would be gone. So, but there is a Gravity Rush 2, so maybe a lot of that stuff gets answered.
Meaning you were disappointed the same way most people in No Man's Sky were when they finally made it to the center of the universe.
Not really, because that game...
No, because like there was supposed to be something great at the center of the universe. Like that was what you were supposed to be working towards, and then most people who got there says, not so much.
But yeah. But it's not that they answered it and then it was something stupid. It was just they just didn't answer it and kept it open-ended.
I should use
so
that.
maybe
Go ahead. No. I'm gonna keep it when I say it.
There is a Gravity Rush 2, and maybe they go more into about the world there. But I don't know. But then once I was done with that, and this is a little shout out to Future Monkeys as well, because they have a little thing going called the Pile of Shame Extravaganza, to where kind of they have a little contest going on to where who can beat the most games before out of their pile of shame will like win something or something. Kind of like
the backlog draft idea, but like you're playing more of your backlog.
Right. Yeah. So it's just like, instead of like them telling you, oh, you should finish this, like how the backlog draft works, it's more like just finish as many stuff as possible and then you'll win. But so it's not really about winning as much as it is everybody has a huge backlog. So just try to get through that before because you're going to start buying new games. It's a new year, type deal. So I started Hellblade, and I had bought that game, and I was always kind of intimidated by it, and I wished I started playing it when I bought it because this game is really fucking good. Like, it's because I thought it might have been more like Dark Souls or something like that, but I was still interested in the whole like schizophrenia and the whole headphone thing and the atmosphere. The Norse mythology was all things I would be into.
Mm-hmm.
But the combat is like the combat is. Like,
I don't know no brothers who care about Norse mythology. Like really, the only time we care about Norse mythology is when we're watching American Gods. I just don't know no brothers who are into Norse mythology. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead. I'll just say it. I was just pointing that out.
Okay. Well, anyway, the combat is really cool. It's more the only way I can describe it that may be kind of like Dark Souls is the fact that it is not a hack and slash game at all. Like if you go in and be like, I'm just going to like hit square the entire time and beat the crap out of these enemies. No, you will die.
Okay.
So you definitely have to like, dodge and parry and things like, well, not as much parry. I do more dodging than I do blocking. It seems a lot like, why would I stand here and try to block your attack when I can get out of the way? So that seems to work a lot better with me.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I play God of War. I'd rather just flip around than to try to like do something like crazy. But see, here's the problem with God of War, and I hope it's not a problem with the new one, because I am kind of interested in playing the new one because I want to see the changes that they made to Kratos. Because I mean, he doesn't seem as angry, and that's like Kratos' thing. Like anger is his thing. So I just basically just press buttons.
I'm guessing that the combat would probably in that game, since it's going more instead of like that view like a God of War game is. Like I can't even remember. It's different, it's sort of over the top, so it's sort of to the side. It's a different type of game. But in this one, it seems more third person. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking it may fight a little bit kind of like Hellblade, to where you're kind of right up at the enemy instead of being kind of far away, which the God of War games, you're kind of far away, like looking like Diablo.
Because the weapons kind of spread out a little bit, so you have to be a little bit further back so you can see them.
Yeah. So I really dig it, and like this one part which I posted on YouTube, I was like, well, I posted a boss fight, to give a little taste of how that would be, and then one night I was like, well, I'm going to play a little bit because there's some puzzle parts. I was like, there's probably going to be a puzzle up here probably because I just finished a boss fight the night before. So I walked a little bit and I ended up in this other area, and then all of a sudden I was on this bridge, and then she was like super pissed. Like she was ready to fucking fuck shit up. And then all these enemies started coming at me on this bridge, and they started playing this like freaking like Norse chant with like tribal drums and stuff, and I got super freaking pumped, and I freaking like did that whole part in the next like big swarm of enemies part. Like I was like, okay, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, but dude, like there's this one dude with a shield, and he kept like beating his shield and stuff like every time I would like get away from him and stuff, and I was like, that got me pumped up even more. So yeah. And every enemy, there is no like, oh, here's some minions, just throw out these guys. They're like super easy. Every enemy is like pretty much a mini boss. Like even though that there's bigger dudes, every guy is bigger than you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the whole atmosphere is just, it's so good. Like it's paused right now. I'll probably play a little bit more after we get off here. But
that's why I guess that's why they're getting all of these. I mean, it got all of those awards and stuff. I mean, it must be a good game.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, I highly recommend it for anybody that likes a good story. Like we were talking about good story games. It's definitely that. And I'm still not sure if the whole dying too many times is real or not, and I don't think nobody knows really, which is weird. That so yeah, because it tells you, oh, if you get defeated too many times, this thing will go up, and then your progress will be erased or whatever. But I have noticed that I've been dying less because
maybe it's a thing for like the hardest levels.
Maybe.
Does it have levels like that?
Well,
the hardest difficulty
right?
levels.
Yeah, yeah, it does have difficulty levels. There is its main one is auto, to where if you're doing really well, it's going to like make the game harder for you. If you're dying a lot, it's going to like ease up on you type deal. And but what was I getting at? The gaminess of the game is not really there. Like when you pause the screen, it will show you all your attacks and stuff. So I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure I can block. How? Never showed me how to block. So I had to pause the menu and look at the thing because it don't tell you nothing. Like you just get in the game. There's no HUD. There's nothing. You know what I mean? So it's not going to tell you, hey, here's this little mini game to look up, look down. Here's a guy that has a shield, do this. It doesn't do any of that stuff. It's you learn it all organically. Like you have this ultimate move. It's not going to be like a meter that says your ultimate's ready, use it. No, it's like you'll start seeing things in the screen that like seems like hallucinations, and that's when you know that your ultimate's ready, and it's pretty much like a slow down time thing. So
okay.
And if you get knocked down to where it feels like, oh, you're about to die, if you like hit X, well, A on the Xbox, but I guess it's not on Xbox, is it?
I don't think so.
I think it's on PC, but you can get out of near death situations pretty easily. So
it's only on PlayStation 4 and Windows.
Okay, but yeah, I got it for like $11, but even like full price, it was released at $30. And this is actually a pretty small team that made this game, and you would, other than the length of the game, you would never know it, dude. This game is gorgeous. But
I heard they pretty much call it like an independent AAA game,
right?
Which I mean, we've been looking at independent games for quite some time, and they've been inching closer to this. And some of the games, even the simpler looking games, have been in some cases better than AAA games. So
yeah, that's what I was saying. Actually, that's what I was wondering if you had the Game Informers, because I had a set of Game Informers that they recently, because I was wanting to talk, especially if Fred was here, about someone was like, oh, it's been a bad year for games this year, It's just been kind of uninspired. I was like, actually, it's been a pretty good year for games. It's been a bad year for like big company AAA games, like, yes. and when I look,
they keep getting in trouble for being dirtbags.
Right. When I looked in Game Informer, I remember the one that spawned it for me is it was probably like the December or January issue, because they're like 2 months ahead because that would be the one to where they review the November games. Right. The highest rated game, or their like game of the month, and like for like November releases, was like Hand of Fate, like a card game. I was like, that's like the month before Christmas, and the best game was a card game. And then the month before that was the Divinity Sin game, which I've heard was really good. But that's like, a PC only game, an RPG. And then I think Mario Odyssey was the best one for one of the months. And then, but so none of your like Assassin's Creed or Call of Duties or Battlefronts or Battlefields were like, your Ubisoft, Activision, all those are like not really doing that good. But then games like Nier and Persona and like Nintendo games and like Hellblade and things like that are like booming right now. Like these kind of niche indie games are like doing better than the AAA games. So, and they've been really good. It's just, it seems like it's been a bad year because, your big console pushing games like whether a lot of them are putting it up against 2007 when you had Call of Duty 4 and Mass Effect and Halo or Halo 3 and all those, and BioShock coming out,
Right.
But those type of games are still coming out. It's just they're not coming out from big AAA, like, because Hellblade's like a BioShock type game. It's like not that long, but it's a great story with great gameplay. and then your RPGs like Divinity, Original Sin, and the other like JRPGs like Nier are doing better than. And actually, I haven't really seen many Western RPGs come out in a while. I think the last one was probably like Fallout 4.
Right.
So,
I mean, well, technically Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But even though Mass Effect is not a bad game, it was received badly, so a lot of people are not going to count it. I counted it in my top 3.
Right. And still, even if you count Mass Effect, that's a game that come out in early. Like, so if you can't just look at the prime time October and November months anymore. You got to look at the whole year. You know what I mean? Because when the year started, I was like, holy crap, this year's going to be awesome. We got freaking Persona and Resident Evil 7 and Mass Effect Andromeda all in the first 3 months of the year, and they're like awesome. And like, what's going to be for the next months? Nothing. because the AAA guys just like dropped the ball.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna wrap this up, but before we do that, I got something that I want to talk about.
Okay.
There was an announcement made that all Microsoft first-party games are launching on Game Pass. So that means when the next Halo game comes out, you're going to be able to get Halo for $10. When Crackdown comes out, you're going to be able to get Crackdown for $10 fucking dollars.
A month, right?
A month. That's crazy. See, here's the thing. I always said that I was interested in Game Pass, but I was waiting until they had Zoo Tycoon. Because Zoo Tycoon is always a game that I wanted to play. I played it on 360, but I wanted to play the Xbox One version. But I didn't really want to buy it because in most cases it was still $30 fucking dollars. And then when Game Pass came out, a lot of the games that I wanted to play, I owned. So I was waiting for them to get new stuff. And do you know they added fucking NBA Playgrounds? You know, like the NBA Jam type game that they came out with last year?
Mm-hmm.
They fucking added that shit. I'm really about to do my Game Pass thing now. I think I want to do that.
Nice, yeah. Here's the one thing about that though. Like, I've thought about this. Like, it's like Xbox has been trying to like make good on a lot of the stuff in the past. It's almost like guys don't make too good. like the whole like play anywhere thing and like your big exclusives.
They're so far behind. They have to try so hard.
Yeah, I know. But like, if they make too good, like someone is going to say, "Well, why would I buy the Xbox when I can just get a PC and play all your games and get a Game Pass?"
Well, there's not a whole lot of games that are play anywhere. That's the reason why. Like, there's not a whole lot of games. There's some games, but it's not a ton of games that are on Play Anywhere, because a lot of the third parties are not jumping aboard the Play Anywhere train. And if you know anything about the gaming industry, we can look at Microsoft exclusives as being few and far between. So
yeah,
so it's not a whole lot.
But still, if you got a gaming PC, you could get your Microsoft exclusives through Play Anywhere and then play your third parties on Steam. So you still got your third parties right there on your PC. So it's still kind of like if you don't have a gaming PC, you could get the Xbox for cheap.
That's more of an incentive to buy into the Xbox ecosystem. Like it's way more of. I mean, for me, like the idea that I have access to stuff like EA Access, and now the Game Pass, that would make me really care more, as more of a casual gamer at this point. That makes me care more about Xbox than I will PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because the only service that PlayStation has, they charge way too much for it. If PlayStation Now was $10 a month, we couldn't be having this conversation.
Right. Yeah, because every time I see games that it's a cool service. It's just way too much freaking money. Like it's almost, in a way, if you have good internet, it's kind of better than backwards compatibility if you have good internet, because you don't have to worry about downloading games and whatnot. You can just stream it, and then, but it's just too fucking expensive. Like, it should be like in with your Plus.
I don't think it's better than. I don't think it's better than back compat. Here's why. Here's why I say it's not better than back compat. Because back compat serves people like me who don't trade in games.
Right.
And like I still have a ton of 360 games. I still have a few Xbox games. So the back compat works great for me as someone who still actually has my discs.
Well, it works great for me too, because especially for digital, like when I would sign into my Xbox account on someone else's thing, I was like, oh, there's more games in my library now, because now I was like, oh, I can play Far Cry 3 on my Xbox One. I can play. There was something else that came on there, and I was like, oh, I didn't know they had that on there, but that's a really cool thing. It's just with the PlayStation Now, you don't have to own the games. Like it's kind of like the Game Pass, except you're downloading with that. So Game Pass is kind of similar, since you don't have to own them. You just already have them. Like if you have the service, it's just.
But see, here's
come
the
down
problem.
That price.
Here's the problem with the Game Pass is the real difference is, like, if you're in a situation like how I was for the past few weeks, and your internet isn't that great.
Yeah.
Can't really pull that off. If I wanted to pull on my Xbox and I wanted to play a older game, I could do that. Except for, of course, no one is going to let me play the game that I want to play from the past, which is NCAA football. But I really want to record some more videos. By the way, I do want to record some more NCAA videos. I need to find. I need the only 360 that I can find is the special one. But the problem with the special one is when you turn it on, it sounds like a jet engine.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sounds like it's on the runway. Someone just turned on the engines and is getting ready to start taxiing and taking the fuck off. Like it really sounds like a jet engine. It's loud as fuck. So I'm trying to find my other Xbox so that I can be able to record those videos and such.
Right.
But like I said, I still have all of this stuff. So back compat works a lot better for me than this. And like, I really wanted to play Saints Row 2, right? Mm. And Saints Row 2 is not available for back compat. So, and I know there's some games that you can buy from previous generations. Like you can buy like San Andreas and stuff like that for PS4. You could buy one that works on your PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So I went and I was looking for Saints Row, and then Saints Row was only available on PlayStation Now. I'm like, fuck, I can't really do this.
Uh-huh.
So it's great if you have pretty good internet. If you don't have pretty good internet, or if you have data caps, that shit is a wrap.
Yeah, I wished that on the PlayStation some of the digital stuff was kind of backwards compat, because I had like some PS2 games. And even some PS1 games on my PS3, like digital emulation copies, or however they did it. I mean, they played fine to me. Like, because I had like Fatal Frame 2, it was an old like Japanese horror game, and Silent Hill 1, and like some Resident Evil games and stuff. And it'd be really cool to play those on the PS4.
Yeah, I would. And then the fact that my PlayStation 3, I have a few games from PlayStation 3, but my PlayStation 3 doesn't work anymore. Mm-hmm. So now I have all of these games that I can do absolutely nothing with. And I had a ton downloadable through PlayStation, especially once I got PlayStation Plus. I have a ton of downloadable games that I can't do anything with anymore at all.
Right. And I do know, I bet that from here on out, PlayStation is, if they do like a PlayStation 5 or whatever, it will have back compat PlayStation 4.
I doubt it. I seriously doubt it, because now that they're really steadfast in how they work.
The whole thing with the PS3 is that it was a different chipset. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
still, even when you look at it, they put all of that money into Gaikai in order to make PlayStation Now. So I don't know what kind of business PlayStation Now does, but it's probably going to be their solution going forward. You want to play some old shit, overpay us, and then you can play all the old shit. Why the fuck not?
Well, they really need to bundle it with just bundle it. Like, even if it like was like PlayStation Plus, instead of paying $60 a month, you're paying $70 a month. You know what I mean? It's bundled, and then I was like, okay, let me get that, or not a month, but it's a year, and then I get that, and then
charge me $100 a year.
Mm-hmm.
You still get your PlayStation Plus money, and then you give me access to PlayStation Now. Charge me $100. Let me work that $100.
Yeah, and then you might get it, and then even if you're like, wow, that's a lot of money, once you pay it, and then you start playing all the games and stuff, you're like, all year, you're like, well, I have all these.
and then the trial is only 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is weird. Like, they should at least give you a month.
Well,
but
actually,
I guess they're like,
Game Pass is only 14. So you can't really say, it should be a month, because their competitor is only doing an extra week.
Right.
I would do the 7-day trial just so I could play Saints Row.
Right.
Even though I bought the PC version for $250, but I think we need to wrap this up, B.
Cool.
So you got anything else to add before we wrap this up?
Yeah, shout out to Fred. We're sorry we started without you, but I didn't really hear from you, and I was trying to figure out what's going on. So let's get it pumping for next week.
Absolutely, and so shout out to Rojas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to call him Fred. I just want to call him Rojas. That's just a cool fucking name. Like, I would tell everybody my name is Rojas. Like, don't that just sound fucking cool? Or am I tripping?
Well, he rolls his R too, so.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. I can't roll my R's. I mean, I can't do it. It just sounds fucking stupid when I try to roll R's. But yeah, man. So shout out to Rojas. He couldn't make it today. And shout out to everybody that's listening. Like, we appreciate y'all. Shout out to all the people on Stitcher, because Stitcher is super popular with this show. So leave comments, like it on Stitcher, leave comments and stuff like that, and hopefully. I haven't checked Stitcher in such a long time. I haven't checked the stats and stuff in Stitcher in a long time. But I guess I'm going to have to do that, because, that's where the majority of the people listen to the show. So shout out to Stitcher. Shout out to the people on Stitcher. Shout out to everybody else that's listening, however you listen. We appreciate you greatly. So for the homie Chase, I'm Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm. We out of here.
Later.
Peace out to the world.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.